There are few things more joyous in the spring than those great spring bulbs. And while we all think a little bit or a lot about the common ones like tulips and daffodils and maybe hyacinths, there are many, many other bulbs that we can actually use in our landscape. Some of them are very unusual. They're a little harder to find, but they give just that different piece of interest in the landscape and give you something to talk about with your neighbors and your friends. So let me talk about a few of those today, and of course we can't cover all of them. I want to start with one called Summer Snowflake. It's not summer. It usually doesn't flower this early, but when it does, it is these delicate little white flowers tipped with green. The leaves look a little like daffodil, and these flowers are only carried about 3 to a stem. So really a beautiful, tall, quiet little bulb as opposed to being in your face like some of the tulips. Then we have this fabulous bulb called Ipheion, and it's commonly referred to as star flower. There are various cultivars of this, perfect star-shaped, large blue flowers in various shades of blue, and it's blooming right now at the same time as our native prairie smoke. And then we have one of the pasque flowers, which is one of the red ones, which is flowering a little bit later than our native pasque flowers. So it's a very, very interesting combination. One of my absolute favorites is Checkered Lily or Snake's Head Lily or Guinea Hen Lily. You can call it really what you want. Comes straight out of the ground, looks like a snake's head when it's in bud. Then every single one of those flowers opens with a checkered pattern on it. So the checkered pattern shows up even on the white ones. And then of course it goes quiet and dormant, as do really most of our bulbs. Now when we do talk about tulips and daffodils, one of the things that you could really consider is choosing the ones that are a little bit unusual. Tulips in particular come in multiple species types of tulips. They're certainly not the great big cutting ones like the Darwins, but interesting colors. They may have petals that are recurved. Some of them are even a little in lavender, tiny, close to the ground, maybe one that is yellow and orange or red striped, stripes in the foliage, really a different character. And some of those are a little hardier than the ones that we use for cutting tulips. Then of course we also have some of the ones that we do use for cutting tulips called the peony flowered tulips. The daffodils of course come not only in the great big yellow cupped ones, smaller cupped, little ones that naturalize, that will really give you a different sort of an appearance wherever you're going to plant them. And one final comment on some of the unusual bulbs. Once you start looking for them and you examine the hardiness, of course, and whether it will actually live in your zone and truly be perennial, you can find different fritillarias that are going to be purple and yellow. You can find bulbs that you've never really even heard of before and give them a try. Right now, of course, in the spring, as I said, is when you look at what you like or you try to find it somewhere, because we plant the bulbs almost always in the fall for these early spring blooming ones. And that means you're going to have it fixed in your mind before you order in the fall. Keep in mind also that the bulbs are going to go dormant after flowering. So if you have a big space in your landscape that you've filled with bulbs, you're going to have to cover that up with something or just have a bare spot.